And I'm on Flatbush Avenue here in Brooklyn, and check this out. See all these livery cabs lined up behind me here, at least 2 or 3 of them? They could soon be part of a bold new experiment in the city. It's called a 5-borough taxi plan, and it could revolutionize how people get around, especially in the outer boroughs. Hailing a livery cab will be just like hailing a yellow cab if Mayor Bloomberg gets his way with a revolutionary new plan for how New Yorkers get around town. In his State of the City address tomorrow, the mayor is expected to call for legalizing what has long been illegal. He wants livery cabs to be allowed to pick up street fares without prearrangement. Outside Manhattan, what is your gut reaction to this proposal?
Oh, we are stunned.
New York's Taxi Workers Alliance calls such a plan unacceptable. For taxi drivers, it would usher in a wave of competition. They worry such a move would immediately cut into their income.
If the city were to lower the leases, overnight you'd see thousands more yellow cabs in the outer boroughs.
Here's part of what the mayor is expected to say in tomorrow's State of the City. Why shouldn't someone in Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, or Staten Island be able to hail a legal cab on the street? We want to give New Yorkers in all 5 boroughs another safe, reliable, and convenient option for getting around. So how's the plan playing in the outer boroughs? What do you think of a plan like that?
I think it'd be very good, because the yellow cab doesn't too much come to Brooklyn, and a lot of part of Brooklyn, yellow cab doesn't come. So it'd be good for pick up a lot of customers.
There's plenty of times when I'm walking in the street really late at night, coming from wherever I'm coming from, and I need a cab. Why should I have to wait on the train or something when I'm willing to pay so I can get home faster and safely?
It's better to have a licensed livery cab, and you can hail them down, and they can take you somewhere safely.
The new street hail rules would require city council approval. Back now live in Brooklyn. In order for cabs like this one to participate in this possible program, they would have to have recognizable markings, they'd have to have meters, credit card readers, as well as GPS systems installed inside. Reporting live tonight from downtown Brooklyn, I'm Peter Thorne, Pix 11 News.
Right now at 11, taxi cab controversy. The mayor's proposal to dramatically change the way you get a cab.
Toppling a taxi tradition for as long as anyone can remember. Only yellow cabs have legally cruised the streets of the city for fares. Well, now Mayor Bloomberg wants to change that. CBS 2's Lou Young now with more on the cab controversy.
We've gotten used to it. Manhattan streets clogged with available yellow taxis, but over the river in Queens,
there's not a lot of yellow cabs that come through here.
And when they do come through, you can bet the yellow medallion cabs are off duty like these. So now the Bloomberg administration wants a new fleet of livery cabs to start picking up the slack outside Manhattan.
What we're going to do is allow licensed livery cars that are already licensed by the city to pick up passengers who hail them on the street.
The proposal is a surprise to the folks representing yellow cab drivers.
Oh, we're blown away by this.
And not in a good way. It's this expensive piece of metal, the taxi medallion, that gives a New York City cab the license to pick up street hails anywhere in the 5 boroughs. Changing that in any way, critics say, will set the industry on its ear.
Once they're in Manhattan, what guarantee do we have that the street hails are not going to continue?
City Hall says it's just trying to regulate the current unofficial outer borough cab system, like the one we found tonight.
These guys come by every so often, and they're like, they'll beep their horn, and then they kind of, you know, if you're interested in catching a cab, they'll tell you, well, where do you want to go? And then they give you a price.
And often the price changes. Riders seem inclined to welcome a little more certainty. Right now it's kind of hard to catch a cab, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially if you don't know what you're going to pay.
That'll change if His Honor gets his way with fare structures, meters, and enforcement. He'll make the proposal during the State of the City address, and then you can expect a spirited fight in City Hall as the yellow cabs defend their turf. We're in Jackson Heights, Queens tonight. Lou Young, CBS 2 News.
And Council Speaker Christine Quinn was non-committal tonight when asked about the mayor's idea, telling CBS 2, we look forward to closely examining the proposal.
Live in Manhattan. It is tough to find a cab. Taxi drivers tend to cruise just the streets of Manhattan. But now Mayor Bloomberg wants to give livery drivers the green light to pick up hailing passengers in the outer boroughs. Those are cheers you're hearing, except from one group. Here's Jim Dolan.
On Montague Street in Brooklyn Heights, unless you know exactly the one place to go, it can take a while.
How long does it take sometimes when you're trying to find one?
Until you figure out that they're on this street, it could take you a couple years.
It's easy to get a cab in the morning as the cabs don't want to go in empty to the city. The real problem is on the way home at night, they do not seem to want to come to the outer boroughs.
Because they know they've got to go back empty-handed, right?
That's correct.
So even here, where taxis do make an occasional appearance, the mayor's idea of allowing livery cabs to pick up passengers off the street has a lot of appeal. You think that's a good idea?
As long as they're regulated, just as taxi cabs are, then sure, why not?
The idea is this: livery cabs would be required to have some uniform, recognizable markings on them. They'd also have to have meters and credit card readers and GPS locators on the taxis. If they did all of those, they could legally pick up street fares anywhere but Manhattan.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You make some more money that way?
Yeah.
So let's see, the mayor likes the idea, and livery cab drivers like the idea, and passengers really like the idea. The only people we could find who didn't were the cab drivers.
In an industry where you're paying $130 to $190 in expenses every day before you break even, every fare counts.
Still, even yellow cab drivers admit there's a really good reason they stay in Manhattan.
I make more money in the city than here.
In Brooklyn Heights, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.